All right, let's take a look at Google Sheets. So first things first, if you get to the Google homepage and you click on this, it's called a waffle. If you click on this waffle, you should be able to get to Sheets in this area here. If it's not showing up, let us know. You can download that extension, but Google Sheets should show up, and then you can click on blank or whatever you need to do. I already have a sample one started, so I'm going to start from here. Okay, so first things first, you probably are familiar enough with it to see that when you click on a box, we could reference this box as being A1. A because it's in the first column, and 1 because it's the first row. This one over here would be E5 because it's column E, row 5. And that's what it says up here too. So the name of the box would be listed up here. You can always kind of use that as a map to figure out which box you're talking about to communicate with others. Okay, so what else was I going to say? Hey, really quick, before you get into much of the details on what to put into the Google Sheet, one thing I want to mention is organizing it. I would go ahead, whenever you have a sheet that you're working on, right at the beginning, make sure you have a title that makes sense to you. Then organize it. There should be something up here that allows you to move or organize it in your drive. So once you click on that, find a folder that works for you. I've got a whole bunch of them, but you do you. So there's this little button here. You can always click on New Folder. It would be a good idea to click one and make one for this class that you're in. Title it the name of this class or the hour that this is, and use that to put all of your stuff from this class that we create in here. Okay? Once you're done with that, another thing to talk about is sharing. So when you click on Share, if you're working in a group, obviously you'd want to share it with your group members, but if you're ever turning this in, it would be a good idea to share with your teachers as well. So when you share, you can type in their emails. You're welcome, let's see here, I think, share with this, I don't know. Once you type in some names, you have some options. So you can decide whether someone gets access to, let's see, I don't know. Once you type in a name here, you can change the access so that someone can edit it or they can view only. So this is a good option if you want to share it with a teacher, but you don't want the teacher to mess with anything in there, then make it view only. Okay, so that's a good thing to set up right at the beginning. That way you don't forget to do that towards the end when you're ready to turn it in. Other things that I wanted to talk about here, when you're putting stuff into any of the boxes, if you click once, you can type over what's in there, or if you click twice, you can edit what's in there. So for example, if I wanted to change this to 25, I can just click on the box once and type over it and it replaces it. But if I want to change it to 26, I don't want to change the beginning, I can click twice and just edit that last digit. Or you can always edit it up here and you can say, no, let's do 27. I'm going to change it back to 25 because that's the date it actually was. What else do we need to do here? So another thing that I wanted to show you guys, you see how this looks kind of messy up at the top? It only had room for number of spag, but I actually had number of spag strands, so spaghetti strands that we were working with. This one is, the whole title of it is number of washers that broke the spaghetti for trial 1, but the only thing that shows up here is number of washers that's it. That's frustrating to me. I don't like that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight these boxes, and then I'm going to go up here. Do you see this thing, text wrapping? If I click that button and I click this, text wrapping, I'm going to make it, instead of just flowing into the next box, I'm going to make it wrap. That way it automatically changes your table so that you have enough space for everything in there. Another thing you can do to make stuff easier to see, you can put boxes around it, or you could do something like that where it's only around the outside of them. I suppose I should have done clear first. You can make it just around the outside, but I kind of like the way this looks. So next thing you can do here, You could change the spacing of these. If you want to change the spacing of any of the rows, you can mess with that. There's another way to do that. I think you can right click on a box and change all the spacing as well, but this is an easy way to adjust spacing of stuff. Let's see. Another thing, what if you want to keep doing this? What if instead of 4 trials, what if you have like 15 trials? I retyped this for these, but what if I want to keep going? I can hover over this dot. Do you see that blue dot there? If I hover over it and I get the black little plus sign, that black crosshairs, I can drag that over and it actually copies what was in these previous ones. But look, the computer knows, hey, it says, hey, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, so it's predicting that the next one would probably be trial 5, trial 6, trial 7. That's super nice. If you ever want it to copy exactly what's in there and not fill in a number like this, a number pattern, you might have to go back and adjust that, like retype those numbers so it says like trial 5, trial 5, trial 5, if that's what you want. But really handy feature there. What if, alright, I'm going to delete these because I don't actually want it. To delete, you could go into each box, double click and hit backspace, but another way is just highlight those boxes and then backspace once and it clears everything that's in it. I don't want these outlined anymore, so I'm going to just do this to clear them. We'll put the lines back on that box. Okay, what if you want to order these from, I'm thinking, what if we want to order this column? I see that it says 11, 36, 54, 98, but what if I want it to go greatest to least instead? So I think what I can do here, I should be able to, trying to remember how to do this one. Maybe I can do data. And I can sort this. So it's saying sort by column B because that's the column that I clicked on. Currently it's A to Z, which would be the same as least to greatest, but I could actually do greatest to least, so I could click this one. I don't want it to mess up my whole page, so I'm just going to say sort this range. So I'm going to click on that, and it changed these numbers, so it went greatest to least. So if you ever have to put something in order, if you click on data, I'm going to undo that because it doesn't really make sense to have it like that, and I don't want it to change my data, but that's an option if you wanted to. You can also change these. What if I was supposed to do decimal places? You could go in and click on those and add decimal places, but you can also do this fancy thing here. So if you click on this, it makes all of these go to 1 decimal place, or 2, or not, or you can round back the other direction, whatever you need to do there. Another thing you can do is you can go to your number formatting. So you can click on this button, or you can click up here and format your numbers. So what if you wanted to change these to percentages, you can click on that. You can make them all in scientific notation. You can say, hey, this is number, or this is money, so let's talk about it in terms of money. It'll put a $sign on there and give you 2 decimal places afterwards. In this case, it doesn't really make sense because spaghetti shouldn't have a $sign after it, but you can change anything, date, time, duration, things like that, and there's even more. So I'm just going to change it back to number, though, for our purposes. Okay. I don't think we even need decimal places on here for this. I'm going to go ahead and end this video, but I will talk about more features of Google Sheets in the next video, so stay tuned.